All right. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? It is Thursday, September 15th, and we're back again here on Thursday night for the live stream. As always, we're here with you, and we're doing our normal Thursday night hang for a couple hours here while we do some coffee and some cigars. So that's going to be a good time, I think. I hope so. I don't know, but it's good to see all of you out there tonight. What's up, young man? Good to have you. Yes, finally, it's been a long week. Yeah, it has it? I don't know. Everything seems a bit kind of fast or blurry in my world. I don't know about you guys, but good to have you. Also, of course, as always, put down in the comments what you're smoking, what you're drinking. Love to know what that is. And we're going to get right into it today. What are we doing today? I don't even know what we're doing. Weather's better. It's not so hot, so that's a good thing. But yeah. So today I had an interest. I'm sitting here working, and suddenly this guy comes by. His name is Jay, and he's a chef, and he's the chef owner of a place called Salsa Grill here in Baltimore. And he's a friend of George Brightman's, and he came by and said, "Hey man, I've been wanting to come by and visit." And he's really into coffee, and so he wanted to come by and share some coffee with me. And I was like, "Wow, man, that's really kind of you." So he brought this coffee, and he's a big aficionado of Weasel Coffee, what he's calling Weasel Coffee from Vietnam. And I guess it's basically the Kopi Luwak, the civet cat coffee. And he recently got a new source for this coffee, but instead of being from Vietnam, it's from Africa. And so he's like, "Hey, I wanted to bring this by for you to try." And I was like, "Well, that's super kind, man. I really appreciate that." So I figured we'd put this on the show today and give it a chance, right? And so while he was here, he was also like, I gave him I gave him a cigar, and I was like, "Hey, man, of course I'm going to give him the revenge." I had one sitting around here, but he's into cigars too. He's a little bit more modest with his cigars. He's like, he gets nice cigars from George, but when he's getting cigars for himself, he goes down to the drugstore and he's like, "These are pretty good." So he gave me one of these. These are called Don Seville's Nicaraguan handmades, and these are, what do they say about it? So Nicaraguan 100% age fillers, and it says here, "Don Seville marks the dawn of a new era of affordable imported cigar smoking satisfaction. You can now enjoy fine imported handmade cigars for about the same price as you would pay for domestics, quote unquote. Every imported from Nicaragua, every Don Seville Nicaraguan handmade is 100% handmade with all natural tobacco. Blending with our fine select Cuban seed Nicaraguan tobaccos has created the same superb, unique taste that usually only be found in the most expensive imported cigars. Don Seville Nicaraguan handmades, designed for the smoker who thought he couldn't afford a quality imported handmade cigar." So this is kind of like a Toro shape. Or maybe the Grand Corona, right? And you know what? I smoked this afternoon. I was sitting here working, and I was like, "I'm going to try it." It wasn't. You think about drugstore brands, you're like, "Oh my God, that's going to be terrible." But it wasn't that bad. I was really, really surprised. What's going on, Rusty? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. The young man's back again. Excellent. But it wasn't as terrible as I expected. Actually, it was pleasant. It was pleasant. And at $10 for 4 of these, it was pretty good. Like sometimes you get these short filler cigars, like for example, the factory smokes from Drew Estate. They're about $3, $4, maybe $5, depending where you are. So they're very cheap. They're very affordable, but as you're smoking them, sometimes they fall apart a little bit. And so I don't know about that. But this one, what's up, Tony? How are you, man? Good to see you. These were not terrible. Like I really don't know what to say other than they weren't terrible. I was really surprised. 6x50, as you can see, 6x50. So I don't know if you want to go try it, but like if you need, like I'm going on a road trip on Monday, and I'm thinking maybe I should go get some to use for the car. Now it was relatively smooth and mild and more medium, and then towards the end, like the very last bit, it got a little bit harsh and bitter. So perhaps you're not going to smoke it all the way to the nib, but to the nub, whatever. It's not terrible. All right, so let's get into our coffee. Like I said, Jay gave me this African Weasel coffee. And I don't really know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. So we're just going to taste it. So we're going to get some of our stuff here. Get that out of the way. Get our scale. Today we're going to be using this pour-over brewer. It's called the slow coffee style dripper from a Japanese company called Kinto. This is actually the brewing device we were using at Spro in Hamden before we closed it last year. So this had a lot of work on it. They've got a lot of use, but it's in great shape still. And we beat on it pretty much every day. So it's a great brewer. So it might be something. What's going on, George Shem? How are you, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the show as always. So I'm going to put this on here. And then see, it's conical, right? So I'm going to use this Melita style filter. So with the Melita style filter, what I do is I choose the seam here and the seam here, and then just fold it across, right? So we're going to put that in here. Oh, and let's see, George Brightman is with us. Good evening, Onoe says, save yourself, Jay. Do not take Don Seville on your road trip. I love Jay, but these are not worth spending your smoking hours on some parts. Yes, I will not say that they're great smokes, but they surprisingly weren't horrible. Like, they weren't horrible. And I'm really surprised to be able to say that. And I'm really surprised to be able to say that. All right, excellent. Oh, Mom's here with us. How are you, Mom? Good to see you. Welcome to the show as always. All right, so we're going to put this on here, and I'm going to turn on the scale. That's going to tear it out. And then we're going to cut this open. So first of all, let's have a look at the coffee and see what it looks like. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's not. It's kind of a medium roast. You can't really see it here on the camera, I see, but what we're going to do is we're going to put this on here. We're going to put 24 grams of coffee into there we go, 24 grams. Actually, let's look at this color a little bit, because I'm a little bit surprised. It is pre-ground, so whoever he got it from had it pre-ground. But if we look here, can we see that much? Is there much way to get detail? If I take it out, can we? You'll have to trust me. It unfortunately, there's so much shadow from the lighting that it's hard to see. So George is asking, no pre-wetting of the filter? No. If you look at the channel, on the Ono Coffee channel, there's a whole 2-part series of videos discussing exactly why we don't do it. Basically, what we did is we took a test about it. Gosh, it could be almost 2 years ago. We took a whole bunch of filters, tasted them, and whitewash filters. Like this is actually the whitewash Melita from Wegmans. This is one of the ones that we did test, and there was no flavor. So white bleach filters do not impart any flavor. Brown unbleached flavor papers do impart flavor. So those you want to rinse out and rinse out well. These you do not. So now you can, like one of the practical things, like for example, when I was putting this in here earlier, right, it was, closing up. So what you can do is, if you want to keep it open, you just hit it with some water to stick this to the sides of the brewer. You can do that, and that's perfectly going to give you that opening. But as far as like rinsing out the paper flavor, you don't need to do that. This is completely white bleach filters are the way to go. Even though people are like, oh, it's bad for the environment. Well, maybe. And George says, I'm eager to hear your reaction to this new iteration of Weasel Coffee. I have enjoyed the Vietnam version. Oh, all right. Excellent. Oh, you like the camera? Thank you. And George says, if I use the Hario brown filter. So if you're using the Hario, you would definitely want to go ahead and rinse that well. But if you go back to the bleached, you don't need to rinse that at all. All right, let's have a look at, water. I need to get the water. All right, so let us also take a moment to swap out. There we go. We're going to tear that out. Although I don't think this scale tears anymore. Again, this is another scale that we had at the shop, so it's gotten quite a heavy beating. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that. We try to find a good way to bring good quality sound to the show here. Oh, that's a bit too long of a transition. All right, let's go back to that. All right, so now we're ready to go. What we're going to do is we're going to do a brew. Oops. We want to brew our coffee. So when you're doing 24 grams of coffee with 350 mils of water, and we want to do that in about 3.5 to 4 minutes full brew time. So, all right, let's start and try this out here. It's been a while since I brewed like this. All right, here we go. So initial 80 grams or so is just to pre-wet the filter, or just to pre-wet the coffee. Oh, I'm out of practice. I'm out of practice. All right, so that's going to give us a little bit of the drop. Now we're going to get into it. Normally we about 30 seconds, but it looks like that has flowed pretty well through. The grind is pretty medium fine. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's too fine or not. We'll find out. As with anything, we'll find out. So what's everyone been doing this week? Anything of interest? I finally got this Saturday's video finished today. I've been crunching that this last couple days. I'm heading up to Albany, New York. Oh, sorry. I'm heading to Albany, New York on Monday for a conference, a YouTube conference. So a bunch of YouTubers talking about YouTube and hopefully smoking some cigars at the hotel after. Whatever, I'll smoke anyway outside late at night. The grind size, like all of this foaminess, it just makes me feel that it's, for this particular application, it might be a little bit too fine, but we will see in a few moments. So we're 238 grams of water at 1:30. So pretty good. I'm doing pretty good with time, I think. Tony says, since you've been gone. Oh, there it is. Since my boss decides to go on vacation, I've been at work all week. Oh, so where are you now? Did you go home or did you stay at work? And George says, I've been waiting all week for the show tonight. Well, thank you, George. So I decided to light up a Romeo and Julieta Añejado Piramide and pair it with a 12-year-old Knob Creek. Oh, that's a nice way to go. And George Shem went to the dentist, 6-month visit. I'd rather go to Baghdad. I had a good report. Excellent. As long as you don't have to remove your teeth, that should be all right. And it's a hard knock life there. Work is the curse of the drinking class. No doubt. All right, so we're going to make our last push to 350. There we go. And we're 255, so it's still falling. Tony says, I'm at home and no from the Haters North this week. Now, yeah. Bud is way out there in Ocean City land. And Brian went out to go see his brother in Phoenix, so we might see them at some point, or maybe not. I wonder if they're going to get pizza at Pizza Bianco. Maybe that's where they should be tonight. All right, so we'll reach about 3:30. Oh, so we're pretty much done. So that's good. 3:30 or so. That's good. That's about right. That's a good. So I would say the I would say that the flow from the quantity, the water, and oh, you should see that, and the grind are right. So that's a good sign. When you find that the coffee, flows through, if you're adding water at proper regular intervals and it flows through and it stops at 3:30, 4 minutes, you're in the right place. All right, let's have a look at this coffee. Well, it looks black. What's there to say about that? I don't know. It has the darker, like, aroma to it, even though it wasn't really dark. There are some definite, distinct flavor characteristics to the coffee. There's a bit of bitterness to it. There is a bit of rubber character to the flavor. Perhaps this is not the best coffee for drinking black. Like it's not heavily roasted, but it is very distinct. Let's have a see of this. All right. So that's the coffee. I think that if I was to go and use cream and sugar with it, it would make it much more enjoyable, I think. It's definitely an interesting, distinctive coffee. It reminds me of a coffee that I tried from Uganda, and actually it has a lot of characteristics of what we would consider in the business more commercial coffees, meaning that there's a lot more there's a big difference between commercial and specialty, and the big difference is that in specialty we're sorting the coffees for defects and for problems, and we're looking at attributes. So when we're tasting coffee in specialty, we're looking for attributes of the coffee, whereas those that are tasting coffee on a commercial side of things, they're looking for defects, right? Meaning that those coffees on the commercial side are sold with allowable numbers of defects, right? So, and for me, it's really fascinating. Like when I go to Uganda, and my host there is the UCDA, the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, and Uganda is very prolific in coffee production. A lot of it is the commercial side, and so there, I really kind of find it fascinating to sit down with the cuppers that are there, like Judith and all them, because they really are cuppers that do commercial coffee, and they really have a whole different sensibility of coffee. And like you're really tasting, when I go there and I'm tasting the coffees with them, it's a completely different spectrum than I'm used to. Like it is. And so you're selling contracts or fulfilling contracts on the commercial side with maximum allowable number of defects. Where on the specialty end, you're looking for no defects and attributes. So it's a different one. And this one, to be honest, it fits more in with the commercial side. So I think this is what they would consider a clean coffee. It's just not a specialty coffee, right? All right, let's see what I got to catch up on the comments here. Sorry about that. George says Brian and Steven are playing in the high desert. They are playing. I think they were going to go drive out to like, I don't know, somewhere Sedona or something like that at once. And Tony's having a crown head sfumato in C major in the dietary Pepsi. Excellent. DCP for the Maestro of Mount Washington. Good color black. Yeah, it's got good color. I mean, as far as commercial coffee, it's very clean. Like we would consider this a clean cup. Like it's not like some of the commercial coffees I tried to have like definitely harsher flavor characteristics to it, and definitely a little bit more difficult to deal with. Bitter can be okay, but rubber, well, but there's, like I said, there are definitely, acceptable characteristics in a coffee under a commercial contract that are allowable and expected, because you're like, I remember years ago when I was really new to the business, it was like 2007. I was my first trip to Ethiopia, and I'm actually smoking cigars with this guy from Netherlands. He's a green coffee buyer. We're talking, we're getting, and here's the thing: when you're new to an industry and you're just learning, and you're like, let's say you're in your first 5 years of being in any kind of trade or specialty, I think that's like the worst time, because you've learned, and like you're willing to learn. Like let's say for the first 2 years, you're willing to learn and absorb everything that's being told to you. By the time you get to year 4, you know a lot, a bit. And that's when you're at your most dangerous, because then you're just like, well, I know, and therefore I can make decrees and declare, decrees on what should and should not be. And so I remember I'm hanging out with this guy from Netherlands, and I'm like, yeah, how can they sell these coffees, right? Like, as though the world should, you come to the perspective and special, like you should only be drinking the finest coffees. And then he kind of broke it down. He's like, everything has a place. All the coffees that are produced, like, you have the high end of the spectrum that has the beautiful coffees, the middle, the low end. And even in the low end, there's a distinctive marketplace for those coffees. Somebody wants them, and it'd be a waste not to sell them. And so it really just kind of like tempered my enthusiasm, shall I say, about that. Rusty saying, is it too early to ask, would you drink it again? Well, it's not terrible. Actually, it's probably better than my local diner. It's better than, it doesn't have, like, here's something that's not quite apparent in this coffee is bug damage, right? So when you have what we call coffee berry borer, or CBB, or in Spanish, they call it la broca, that kind of damage to the coffee gives the coffee a really distinct kind of earthy, muddy tone to it. This one doesn't have that. That's what I'm saying. It is kind of a clean cup in that respect. It does have the notes of the rubber, but it's not horrible. Like I've had some really like horrible coffee, like to the point where even in competitions where, you have to maintain a poker face, and you just can't, you almost lose it because it's so difficult. Tony says, time to make Spanish coffee. You can make definitely add a lot of cream, or just add a lot of sweetened condensed milk. Should be quite nice. Rusty says, just got in from the porch and finished a stolen throne call to arms. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. I like the stolen thrones call to arms, but I do prefer the crook of the crown better, like over that one. But I haven't had as many of the the call to arms as much as I've had the crook of the crown. And I did spend that whole year, 2 years ago, smoking a bundle of crook of the crowns that were just not prepared, not ready for consumption. Tony wants to know, where's the liquor? We got that right over here. Do you think you might have different results if you could buy it in whole bean form? I don't think so. A lot of times, these kind of, characteristics of the coffee are inherent in the coffee itself, not necessarily dictated by how you grind it, right? So you can, like, grinding will have an impact on the flavor, but it's kind of like one of those things where, like, you're going to have chicken, and whether you boil it or fry it, it still tastes like chicken. Like, it's not changing. Neither of none of the cooking methods is changing the true nature of the chicken, right? So it's not, so the grind will affect it, like it can make it heavier or lighter, the brew strength, but it doesn't materially change the characteristics of the coffee. Maybe we should add to the end. Would it be? We probably should. Ooh, a lot of comments here. I got to catch up. Did you get that stone show from Sanj? Rum. We have to add some rum. I do have some rum. We'll get into that in a little bit. Oh, he picked it up from Widmer Tobacco outside Philly. So did you get it during the competition? That was quite a while. That was like in November, which was a good trip. I thought that was a really nice trip. The guys down at Widmer, really, really cool to hang out with. That brings to mind an idea of mine from way back in the day. Do you think we can organize a meatball contest? Oh, yeah, why not? Why don't we? There we go. Young Ma's ready for the 150th. But the question is, will Young Ma make fish meatballs? Is that a Japanese thing? Do they do it in Korea? I'm sure they do it in Korea. What am I saying? We got fish balls in the Philippines, of course. Why wait that long? I think we should celebrate spring and early May with a competition. Oh, okay, that sounds good too. Oh, of course. I mean, I'm very happy that he came by to give me this coffee to try. He's very excited about it. I don't want to. I hope he's not upset with it. All right, that sounds good. Oh, he got it earlier this summer. He took a drive down. All right, excellent. I guess we should move into now that we got the coffee sorted out. And actually, it's not, like I said, it's not horrible. It's just not, it's not bad. The rubberiness is kind of toning down. Maybe I'm just getting used to it in my palate. I don't know if it came truly from a weasel. We're doing a lot of weaselly things lately. I don't know what happened here. All right, so let's go to our cigar. Let me just rearrange some things here so we can have some room. All right, so this is our cigar, the Plasencia Alma del Fuego Panatela. Right, there we go, Panatela. There it is. You can't really see that. It's on my screen here that I'm looking at. It looks pretty dark, the wrapper. The wrapper is not that dark of a shade. So what you're seeing here, this dark, like, it looks like a deep Maduro. It's definitely not that. It's like a really nice rusty Colorado, right? So it's maybe like that is a little more effective. Well, no, that looks darker than it really is. It's a little bit lighter than what you're seeing. I'm going to say it's right there. But it's nice. It feels good. Oops. A slight box press. Well, I guess you could say it's a full box press. George says, hurry up and add the damn rum, then we can learn if we can enjoy this job ourselves. The problem is I don't know what the quality of the rum that I have is at the moment. Rusty says, I forgot it was Alma del Fuego week. I bought another Panatela when I was there for, oh, that's all right. That's all right. All right, so let us, I'm going to pull off this footband. Let's give it a little. It's not giving off much aroma from the wrapper. Let us do some cutting here. I'm going to use this cheapo lighter cutter. Oh, pretty good. Oh, see, there we go. That's a little bit, that's definitely more representative of what the color is. Okay. Brock's press to be sure. Yes, for sure. There's some sweetness coming through the cold draw. But I would say it's pretty mild. Mild. I'd say good. Good. I said good. Now we can light. So I did pick these up from Tobacco Leaf in Jessup from Rahul. These are $14.50, or at least I paid $14.50 for this. So a little bit on the pricier side. One nice thing is that it lights fast. This, 38? Do we need to get you another cigar? Oh, that would be kind of nice. I'm actually, the MTX lives down in the main studio instead of here at the desk now. Initial light is nice. There's a bit of spice to it. Nice flavor. Rahul must have seen. Already I'm starting off a little bit uneven just because of the way that I light. It must be the way that I light and the way that I puff on this thing. All right, smoking. Starting out pretty nice. Right, let's see how it goes. We've got nice flavors of light spices. Probably, you know what, maybe like a baking spice would be a good way to describe it. Light pepper. Could be some light cinnamon. More like canela, that softer Mexican type of cinnamon instead of the sharper American. Oh, Young Ma's ready for the fish balls. Excellent. Fox, Otello, or Figaro would be better choices. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm heading up on Monday to Albany, New York. I'm going to drive up. This conference that I'm attending there Starts at 5 p.m. on Monday and runs through 5 p.m. on Wednesday. So it's really just 2 days plus one night. Is that right? No. Oh, yeah. Wednesday it finished. So Monday starts, Tuesday all day, Wednesday all day, and then I'll drive back Wednesday night. So it's only about a 5-hour drive. So it should be very doable. I think that'll be good. Fox will tell her a figure. Oh, for the cigar scissors. Oh, speaking of cigar scissors, there was this, when I was at the Weasel Fest, one of the guys he owns a cigar shop somewhere. I can't remember the name, but he was showing me this one. Let me see if I can find it. It was a pretty interesting looking cigar cutter. Let's see if I can find it here. Young Ma's asking, is that a Lancero? It looks a bit short. Actually, it's pretty long. Let's see how long it is. What does Plasencia say? This is the Flama. It's a Panatela, 6.5 by 38. So a true Panatela, like super, super thin. George says, as far as a fun play for the 150 Fiesta, why don't we do a Lancero taste-off? Oh, that sounds great. I like that idea. Rusty loves the idea. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, that'd be excellent. That'd be excellent. But what was this? I'm trying to figure out the cigar cutter. It was like $300. Had this super kind of like futuristic look to it, like a wedge that was all like two pieces of metal that are like super like sandwiched together, and they had a magnet so it like click locked. It's like V. I think it started with a V. No, I can't remember it. I even looked it up after I came home because I was thinking about it. Rusty thinks he's going to buy another FU 1014s. Nice. So this has got nice, like, punchiness to it. It's pretty alive. Like for a Lancero Panatela, it's very like popping. It's popping. It's really just got a nice assertiveness to it. It's not heavy duty like the bigger cigars. Like let's say you're smoking that big Cro-Magnon cranium thing, and it's just kind of hitting you with like a lot of flavor and power. This has flavor, it has power, but it's not like, because it's so small, but it's got like, it's definitely like it's like a scrappy cigar that's just kind of like I'm gonna try to show up for the fight, Where is it? American made cigar cutter. How about that? Nope, that's not it. Let's see if I can look at this. Sure, let me share this with you guys. All right, here's our window. I just put American-made cigar cutter, trying to see if this one will come up. It's none of these that I can see. I think a lot of these are just a little bit difficult to use. Like this Lotus Meteor is kind of cool, but it always feels so, like, people that I know that have had it, it always feels like kind of out of whack after a while. George says any one of these Lancero entries will have to go a long way to match up to that RoMa Craft Tony gifted me. Oh yeah, that RoMa Craft one is very nice. Is very nice. Oh, okay. So definitely pick them up so we can get those rested. 300 is like a box of 10, Dev. No doubt, no doubt. I think you'd be lucky to find 10 of them for $300. 300 for a cutter, I'm sure it's great, but 300 buys a lot of cigars. That it does. But I mean, I saw it and I just wanted to show you guys because it seemed like a cool cutter. Not that I really think that I would buy one because it's expensive. And I don't know if it necessarily would be better than the MTX cutter. Well, here's one. Like this one, this super expensive punch. I never liked that one. I have this one, well, not the DuPont, but one that's made by Tonino Lamborghini. That was all right. That worked all right. But nothing here. Why don't they have any cut? Why don't they have this cutter here? It has a really unique design to it. That's what I really liked about it. Rusty says the ones that I bought were about aging for about 5 months in the official own. Oh, man, any one of those Lancero entries will have to go a long way. Oh, yeah, no doubt. We will that. Look up Sissaman for cigar scissor. Okay, let's look at that up. Sissaman. Oh, this one. That's kind of cool looking. And $50, that's not a terrible price. I guess the big question is, will it cut as well as the Zycar? Like that Zycar really is something surprising. Oh, Kirby Allison, look at this. Kirby Allison has a cigar cutter. The El Casco Chrome cigar cutter for $185. Oh, that's for the serious. That's if you're really serious about cigars. Oh, look at that. How does it work? Oh, gold plated for $225. Not bad, $225. Oh, and Tony's liking the wrapper on the Sfumato. Speaking of wrappers and stuff, this is actually going very well. Look at this. I'm actually kind of wondering, like, I'm not worried, but I'm a little bit worried. Like, not because the ash is droopy a little bit that way, but more because, it's only been a few minutes. I'm already like almost to finish the first third. So I need to slow down because, again, I'm starting to smoke it faster because I am enjoying this. Like, it's got good flavor. But this is one of those times when, like, the flavor, like, you want to talk about leather, tobacco, or things, coffee, and and I would say those are like flavor characteristics that could be said about this. Some spice, black pepper, but really, this kind of reminds me of what Skip Martin likes to argue with people about, and I think that in this particular case, that description fits this very well. It has a great flavor of tobacco. You could break it down, like I said, you could break it down to coffee, leather. What else did I say? Coffee, leather, spice, pepper. But really, tobacco. Like a really nice, enjoyable flavor of tobacco. Rich, medium plus bodied. Like whatever wrapper this is, it's really nice. And it's starting to droop, so time to get rid of it. Tapped it out. Let's catch up on some of our comments. Pretty sure the fancy ones you were describing are China made. Oh, these cutters? Yeah, they're almost all Chinese made, probably. Buy it and use it so we can see. I'm not going to, but because it's $300, but I can't even find it now. I don't even know what to look for anymore. Cigar cutter. Cool. Let's see what they get us. Anything good? Maybe here on this famous smoke list. Top 10, Zycar X8, that's not bad. Zycar Enzo, that's pretty good. Vertical Big Daddy, that's a good one. Zycar 111, that's good. The Colibri, I've used that. That's pretty good. Zycar V-Cut, not a big V-Cut fan. And actually, I think this is the one that Bud has. And after he's used it a lot, it's not as sharp. The Zycar 9mm. This guy's all Zycar. MTX multi-tool, yeah, that's good. XO Cutter, nice. Lotus Jaws, okay, now that doesn't show us anything. Maybe one that's just not a Tonino Lamborghini. Which one is that? Oh, maybe that's the one that I have. I don't know. Whatever. Weasel. Nope. Zertone? Nope. It has a funky name to it. Let's see. That fancy punch is an elegant tool. I think the punches can work really, really well. I don't know who's the best punch. I don't really use too much punch on this. A fox cutter was right next to that punch you showed us. A fox cutter. Fox cutter. Fox cigar cutter. This one? Cigar cutter by Fox Knives? I think I've seen this one. Figaro. Oh, this one. The other ones are kind of those funky shaped ones. How much are these? No price. If you have to ask, you cannot afford it. I've seen these in the field. I've never used one. That's kind of a cool looking one. Oh, you like this one? Oh, yeah, that's good. The Figaro's a bit more elegant. Yeah, I would agree with that. The Figaro's definitely a very elegant looking. And now it won't click for me. Come, click for me. Yeah, that's a nice one. But this is not these are cool, don't get me wrong, but this is not the one that I had in mind. Like there was one, maybe 747. Could that be it? Nope. I wish I could remember this. I was looking up like last week when I came back from. How about stylish cigar cutter? Maybe Men's Gear will have us something. No. Cuban Crafters, look at that. Why is it like that? That's interesting. I wonder why they put the hole in it. Polio? Zycar? Oh, this one. Does anyone ever have one of these that works well? Like, oh, my goodness, what's going on here? Hang on, guys. Sorry about one moment here. One moment. Let me get something to fix that. Give me 1 second here. I forgot that I didn't realize. Come on. right, are we back? All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Turns out that I forgot to plug the camera into to a power source, so it basically ran the battery out. But now we're back. So anyway, I'm getting all like confused by this. We really should be. I really should look at this. So we probably I would say we're definitely through the first third, and I think the flavor has been really great. Like I'm gonna say like 8.75, and body has been medium plus, like surprisingly so. And again, I'll say 8.5 for that. Very good plus. Kirby's the man. Kirby Allison is definitely an interesting cat. I do enjoy his I do enjoy some of his takes on like sartorial things. But I always wonder, like, where does he get the money from? Like to go to John Lobb and have custom bespoke shoes made for you is a $3,000 to $5,000 endeavor. To go to Huntsman and have a suit made is easily $3,000 to $5,000. So I'm just like, man, where does this guy get the extra cash to like? I think he was some kind of broker or something like that in his previous life before coming to. George says my Zycar cigar cutter that I bought, should it be Zycar in 2010, still cuts like a dream, unlike but the MTX is still good, but it's not as sharp as it used to be. There has been a little bit of. Rusty says, I wonder if my Cutco scissor will work. Of course it will. Cutco will cut through anything, man. Cutco. You paid a lot of money for that. Is that a harder draw because of the ring? No, actually, it's really been great. Like fantastic. Like now that I'm thinking about it, it's been quite excellent. Actually, maybe my score for the first third might be a little bit low. But no, it's been a nice, cool smoke. I don't know, maybe George can give us a little more detail on what would really make it become a hot smoke. But this one, I'm trying to consciously not suck on it too much and too hard. So that's probably a mitigating factor as far as the heat. But man, it's smoking really, really well. Like really nice. I'm sure they will, but they might do a little bit of butchering. Oh yeah, for the Cutco. For the Cutco, that's for sure. Oh, here we go. The smaller the ring gauge, the slower you need to smoke. Otherwise, you overheat it and the flavors are. There we go. So I am trying to be conscious of not smoking so fast. Although we're almost at the 9 o'clock hour, and I only started this maybe half an hour ago. So it's going pretty fast. I'm going pretty hard on this thing. Tony says the Fox stuff is made by my people. Guinea's rule. All right, excellent. It's when that's when what's his name? Malone told George Stone that he's a no good member of a no good race. I remember we asked him, nah, what's your real name? And he was like, Giuseppe Verdi. I was like, oh. He's like, oh, geez, I knew it. I love that movie. The Untouchables, excellent movie. I don't know if you guys, of course, you guys have seen it. And if you haven't, you should. One of, probably Kevin Costner's greatest film. A great movie from Sean Connery and Andy Garcia's entry into the movie world. I think that was before The Godfather 3. But he was great in that movie. Great. Anyone use the V cutters only for... I tend, one of our friends, Bud, he's a big V cutter aficionado. Me personally, I'm not a big fan. I will use it, like especially if I'm with someone and they only have a V cutter, I'll use it. And what I tend to do lately is do the star pattern. So cut it and then cross cut it. And that gives, I like the straight cut personally, but it's really just a matter of preference. If you enjoy it, Perfectly fine. 60 for the figure. Oh, that's not too bad a price. Tony says, we have one in our shop, and other than to be clean and lubricated every once in a while, it worked great. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Problem is now that so many people have cut cellophane with it, you need to cut the cigar with the cellophane to keep it from tearing the wrapper. Oh, why do people do that? So avoid V cutters on torpedoes. Best time to use a V cut is when you're smoking a Panatela or Lancero. Smaller ring gauge has a bigger surface area for improvement. Oh, I never thought of it that way. That's a good one. Kirby is a green pea. Well, he can be. It's okay. I guess it's okay to be a green pea. And he hangs out with, with Sahakian. Sahakian. Sorry, I don't know exactly how to spell his name, so I can't think visually of how it should be pronounced. Yeah, I wonder. Well, for sure he does. And I must say, let's have a look at Kirby's channel right now. You get to see what comes up on my feed. Like, what do I like to watch? I like to watch aircraft disasters. I love to watch aircraft disasters, like planes crashing, like understanding what causes them to crash. I don't know. I mean, I fly a lot, so I like to watch that. I don't know. It's very strange. All right, let's see. Kirby. I used to watch a lot more Kirby Allison about a year ago. He has 500,000 subscribers, so he's making some good coin. Like, for example, some of the YouTubers that I've heard that are around the 100,000 subscriber mark, they're making anywhere between, more or less 3,000 to 5,000 a month on AdSense alone. So if we extrapolate that, let's say that's what, 5 times. He's at 5 times that. So he's making in excess of 15,000 a month on just his channel revenue without any of his members. He's got membership here. I'm sure he probably has some kind of Patreon. I am surprised, though, with all of his, Anglophilia, that he has not released anything. Let's see. I don't think, he hasn't released anything about the Queen. I'm a little bit surprised about that. Oh, look at this. His thumbnails are getting much better. Look at that. These are some nice looking thumbnails. They're kind of fancy and stylish. Oh, he's got a new cabinet of 50. And but the one thing I must say that's a little bit, about Kirby is that he seems to only smoke Cubans. And, some of those guys that are only Cuban cigar smokers, they tend to be a little bit extra sometimes, But here we are. Inside London's Best Cigar with Eddie Sahakian. Oh, there is Sahakian. Sorry about that, Eddie. He didn't mean to totally blow up your name like that. I'll be wearing braces, though. Braces as in teeth or braces as in pants? Not easy to roll a 38 ring. Oh, for sure. This. What I really got an appreciation for 38 ring gauge was back in 2014. We had just finished the Drew Estate cigar safari, and we're staying in Esteli for a few nights, hanging out with Paul Palmer and Dion, and with Skip Martin, right? So we went over to Skip's place, to the factory, Nico Sueño, and of course Esteban Disla is running the place. And so we're just talking about making cigars and how difficult it is to make this size cigar. And so they were like, so he told Esteban, he said, all right, man, 38. Because I think their Panatela is like a 42. He's like, you can do 38. He's like, yeah, I can do 38. So he goes and grabs some tobacco. He grabs a piece of newspaper, and he uses the newspaper as a mold. Because they don't have, I guess at the time, they didn't have 38 molds, 38 ring gauge molds. So he just grabbed the newspaper and used the newspaper to roll the binder and fillers together. And then he put the wrapper on. I was like, whoa, this guy's like a wizard of tobacco here. Here's Brian, headed to Pizzeria Bianco. Yeah, excellent. Excellent, excellent. I hope you find it to your liking. You should order many pies so you can have a sampling of their stuff. Let us know how the line is. We're interested to know. So it's night now. It's 6 p.m. Oh, it's gonna be busy, 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 busy. Oh yeah, damn right. Yeah, that was a great movie. That was. See, there it is. Good. And Brian appears as predicted, going to Bianco. Excellent. I'm everyone that I've heard from that has been there has said that it's excellent. So I mean, I would be totally disappointed if it wasn't. Rusty says air disasters from the guy that travels the. Yeah, you know, it's weird because like I do enjoy watching these like air crash, especially from that guy mentor pilot. This guy, let me show you. This guy, German guy. He's a German 737 pilot named Peter. And he has this thing called mentor pilot. Oh, don't subscribe to it.
A Boeing 767.
But I watch it a lot. Oh, take it easy there, Peter. So as you can see, it's all crashes. Everything about crashes. And like I like to watch them because I just find it fascinating. Like here, like this Tenerife disaster, fascinating. I think this is the one that crashed in like Hong Kong or Asia, came over a bridge. Fascinating. Oh, this one, the twisted gear. I think this is the one they had like on the news in LA. I was watching this one earlier. This one, good Lord, man, these guys just crashed into the ocean. That was just terrible. One of the ones he did, I was just watching that he did it probably a while back ago, was that National Airlines disaster, that National Cargo, NCA, from Bagram Airfield, where it took off and one of the heavy armored vehicles in the back broke away from its strapping. And what happened was, and in Petter's video, he breaks that down what really happened, because you see this plane, it just goes up and then just kind of stalls and then just comes back down. Wings, they got it to go wings level and then impacts the ground and blows. It's really horrible. That's a horrific one to watch. But turns out that the armored vehicle, they had four of them in the 747, and they had them four lined up in a row, and the one that was to the very back broke away. And there's a pressure wall at the end of the 747, right? So it crashes through the pressure wall, and back where the pressure wall is located in the non-pressurized section is the flight recorders. So it happens right as they take off, truck breaks away, crashes through the wall, crashes into the into the flight data recorders, severing those ties. So like 2 or 3 seconds into takeoff, everything cuts out. And you're like, whoa, what happened to that? So it cuts through that, severs a bunch of the hydraulic systems, and then crashes into what they call the jack screw. And the jack screw is what controls the elevators, right? Those two wings in the back. And basically, once he crashes into it, it pitches him down, which means that the plane is pitching up. That's why the plane is pitching up. So basically, there's no way for the pilots to control that attitude of the aircraft. So it just goes up, and once they reach the apogee where like the engines can no longer maintain sustained flight, it just falls and blows up. It's really craziness. Pants for Young Ma. Yeah, you should wear pants. Pants are always good. Did anyone catch Chef Tables? I was just watching that yesterday. I just saw the first 5-6 minutes. Right, basically where he was talking like he was from New York, and then I kind of stopped because I was I only watch Netflix when I'm at home, sitting at home eating something. So I'll turn it on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, have my meal, and then I'm done. Sahakians, the classiest. Yeah, they're very classy people, those guys. Don't forget, what did I say that? Oh, you mean for the channel? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But maybe if I ever get to that point, I can finally go into Huntsman and buy me a suit. That would be nice. I guess we should look at our Oh, I just spilled. But let's have a look at our grading. I mean, you know what? I was saying excellent. So I'm going to say excellent for those. Like it's still, the body's still good, but I think when we were talking, and that's kind of why, like, when we're working in the judging world, that we talk about our scores and talk ourselves through what we're scoring and why. Because sometimes, we will, like, I will say this, like, let's go back to this one, right? So if I hadn't been talking about it, then I probably would have said something like, I probably would have scored it 8.5, 8.5, let's say. Why? Maybe because maybe I wasn't sure about making it a 9, that it was excellent. But by talking about it, when we're talking about it here, and I said, man, this smoke is really fantastic, really excellent. Oh, that's the indication that should be the score, right? And so, and this is the kind of method that we use when I'm working with judges in coffee competitions, that we sit down after the presentation and we talk about our scores, we talk about what we experience, and we describe that experience. And that's usually when we will lead ourselves to a score. And I'm actually working on a series of videos about just this topic that's coming out. It's a 3 video series that I'm dropping. The first one on Saturday, because the World Barista Championships happening in Melbourne on the 27th. I will not be going to judge because when I looked at the flights, they were $12,000. And so that was way too much for me to ever pay to go anywhere. So unless it was to the moon, maybe to space, I'd spend that money for the space. But so this video talks about these 3 videos. The first one talks about how we score, how we think about scoring. And then the second one will lead you through a presentation. And then finally, the last video will take you behind the scenes into the judges' room so that you can actually hear how we discuss about the scores, how we deliberate and talk about what we've experienced and figure out the proper score and how that all happens. So Yoma says, wow, you're in Esteli. Yeah, I've been to Esteli several times. And for me, it's a little bit easier because, while I am really into cigars, a lot of my travel to Nicaragua has been because of coffee. So either I've gone there to run their competitions or, visiting farmers that we work with to bring coffee, back here. And so typically, and where we work out of is Matagalpa. So the coffee growing region that I work in is Matagalpa, Jinotega, which is basically all in the same general area. So, if you can think of Nicaragua, I'll show you where. Let's look up Nicaragua. So if we look here, this is Nicaragua, right? Let's go in a little bit more. Here's the thing: the Western Autonomous region, the Eastern Autonomous area, the Atlantic Autonomous area, nobody goes there. Like I don't know anyone that's got. Well, I think I know some people, but I am curious to know what it's like. But I've never been there. So here is Managua. So you fly into Managua. And, a nice side trip is to go down here to Granada. So it's about an hour from Managua to Granada. And Granada is this kind of colonial Spanish town, very nice architecture, colonial style architecture. Great place to hang out. It's right here on the Lake Cochibolsa, whatever. Cochibolca. I don't know if it's Cochi. It's going to be Chich. It's not Italian. So anyway, so you can go to Granada. That's a really pretty time. And then the beach area, San Juan del Sur, this is where Skip Martin lives. And so you'll take the Pan American Highway, the route number 1, and you'll drive up to this town, Cebaco. And Cebaco is actually this like, as you can see, the road splits. So typically I go to Matagalpa, and then Jinotega. So some of the farms we work with in Matagalpa, some of them are in Jinotega. I also have some friends that have farms up here in Ocotal, but I have not yet been to visit Ocotal yet. I would like to visit, but not yet. But as you can see, Esteli is, here. So from Matagalpa or Hinotega to Esteli is roughly about an hour. And you can take this from Matagalpa, you can take this one route through Hinotega along this little lake here and come around to Esteli. Or you can go back to Sebaco and go back up. But it's not very far. So it's not, because I'm already in this part of the country, it's not terribly difficult to go to Esteli and visit and hang out. Young Ma says, I like them plane crash contents as well. Oh, yeah, the dash cam ones they can definitely be quite funny, those guys. Okay, so here's something interesting. This cigar has completely gone out now. It is completely out. Why? I don't know. But there it is. Let's relight using the Cirillo method. I tell you, that works really well, man. He really has got it. All right, before I forget, so last week I had this sitting on a table behind me, and I totally it just totally slipped my mind. My apologies. But I got this from Young Ma. Thank you, Young Ma. I appreciate you sending this over to me. So he messaged me earlier, like today. He was like, "Did you get that package I sent you?" I said, "I did. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it on the show tonight." So now we're going to open it up and see what's inside. Oops. Thank you very much, Young Ma, for sending this. I certainly appreciate it. Oh, look at that. It is a little bit hard now. Sorry, it has been a while. Oh, nicely packaged, man. Look at that. It's really nice. Guys, that's very nice of you. Very nice of you. Let's see what we got here. Oh. It is well. It is well wrapped. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to live on the edge with this one. How skilled can I do this? Oh, this cling film is definitely very clingy. Put that down so I don't nick. Looks like a nice R&J. Oh, it is. R&J. Oh, beautiful, man. Look at that. Oh, that is lovely. Feels still beautiful, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me see what's in this one. Put that over the side. Am I fair to guess that you got this Cuban at in the Dominican while you were there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, come on. Ah, lovely. Ooh, the VF. Ooh, not familiar. Oh, Vega Fina. Nice. 1998. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much there, young man. I really appreciate that. I'm going to take a moment now to put these in the humidor so that it's nice and protected. Oh, did I go over this last week? You got some nice stuff. We're going to be coming up on some future episodes. Put those there, let them get nice and hydrated, and let them balance out, especially since the this Boveda is now yeah, all right. I thank you very much there, young man. I really appreciate that. I will let you know how they turn out. And my cigars got out again. Well, fish, that would have been great. That would have been great. So any digital hygrometer recommendations? Ooh, I don't know. Like, you know what? There's this company. I have one from this company, and I don't really use it, but there's a company out here called ThermoWorks. ThermoWorks, right? And they make this great Dermapen. Like if you want a really great instant read thermometer for cooking, this is the one to go with. One of these, right? But they used to have hygrometers. Am I not seeing it? pH humidity. There we go. I have this one. Now, to be honest, I have a walk-in, a small closet size humidor. So this is what I use. Well, this is one of the ones I use in there, although the batteries died and I haven't replaced it. I'm really bad at replacing batteries. Those guys that were here for the 100th, you probably noticed all the clocks here have not been, they're not working because I haven't taken the time to replace the batteries. I'm really bad at that. I do have another one that is connected to the humidification device that is powered from the wall, and that's always on. But this will work. Like if your humidor is big enough, probably this pen will work as well. You could get this, but I don't know if that's really worth it. I have one, and I have an older model of this handheld one that I really don't use that often because I've got the other ones in there. But this pen might be a way to go. Great way to go. It should be small enough to fit in a humidor. You can just kind of leave it in there probably and just kind of hit the button whenever you open your humidor just to check. Otherwise, I don't really worry too much about it. What I really figure out is like, if I'm getting a cigar, I kind of have a feel for them. And while they talk about 68, 60, 70, 70 as being the ideal, I tend to find 68, 65, and my conditions tend to be what I enjoy. But I don't know. I think George might have some other thoughts on that. Yes, the rusty door is still with us. Tony says the Boveda cigar butler is nice because it's Bluetooth. Oh, let's have a look at that. Here's the Boveda cigar. Oh, Boveda. This is the one, the monitoring app. I'm going to relight while we look at this. Oh, that's nice because it's super tiny. And that's kind of what you want. Something that's super tiny and easy to use. And this one, if you keep it in your humidor, you wouldn't even have to open it. I wonder how much they are, though. What's their price? These guys are so into videos. How about a price? How about a price? How about a price? Let's do shopping. Okay, no Bovita Cigar Butler. What in the world? Bovita Butler, Amazon.com. Still nothing. Good Lord. Oh, is that it? Mounting plate. Oh, discontinued. Oh. The only problem that they keep track of the Bovitas. They're always prompting me to order some. Oh. Oh, it is no longer for, okay, I'm looking for something. George Chem has a Zycar, $25 as well. Oh, you know what? Another thing you could be thinking about, Young Mutt, is the humidor. Let's go back to this one, right? This is the humidor, right? This is the one that Rusty gave me a year ago when we were in New Jersey, and it's a Tupperware thing, right? Tupperware, Rubbermaid, and he was kind enough to put some cedar at the bottom, which is very nice. But let's go here. So this thing was gifted to me September 2021. It's now September 2022. I have never changed anything here. Now it's really full, right? But here is the original pack. This is the original pack. There's still another one somewhere down here that's fully enclosed in plastic. There's a little bit of graininess right now, right? So if I'm holding this now, there's a little bit of graininess. I can feel a little bit of graininess, but it's still still very pliable, right? I don't know if you can hear any. Now, the Bovitas seem to do really great at maintaining humidity. And even if I leave it on top of the cigars, now these are all in cello, but if I leave it on top, it doesn't really leach out onto the cigars and overhydrate them. So I don't know. I would suggest if you don't really have a humidor yet, you could just run out and get one of these Rubbermaid things. I saw them at the grocery store the other day, or Target or something like that, at Walmart. Get one of these. Get the Bovita from your local tobacconist, and I think you'll be good to go. Just as long as you keep it in your house, so it's kind of like the temperature is moderated. I mean, it should be fantastic. I mean, I don't know. Sorry about the packaging. My wife did. No, she did a great job. Tell her thank you. It's awesome. Like, it totally survived the travel here. So fantastic. Oh, off of the video. Excellent. And George says, for desktop, the Zycar digital models work fine. Just keep it. Yeah, just keep it. Don't be like me. And he says, the Bovita monitor is probably being remodeled at the moment. Okay. And Tony also agrees with 68%. And George has the circular Zycar humidor. Oh, nice. Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely look at the Zycar. Rusty's had the Butler. It crapped. Oh, that sucks. And it was $59. It's a bit much to pay for something that's going to crap out. Nice with the Bovita, it doesn't. Well, it will eventually dry out. At least with the Rubbermaid, someday it'll dry out. I don't know when that's going to be. The P works fine. Won't break the bank. That's a good thing. $20 when he bought it. Okay. The gray square Bluetooth the gray square Bluetooth. Somewhere it's now I lost. It was on Amazon somewhere. Let's see if I can find it again. Now I have no idea where it went. You just have to look online. It'll be fine. Brian wants to know, can I promote the next Elks event, January 14th, at the Maryland Country Club, to raise $50,000 to help the veterans reintegrate back into society? He'll be auctioning off a luxury item 4 cigars, a box of Davidoff. Excellent. Okay, there it is. There it is, Brian. Perfect. By the way, Brian, have you reached Bianco, and is there a line? Well, I'm currently making my own humidor with a Sistema Tupper door with cedar racks. Oh, okay, cool. Sistema. I'm not familiar with the Sistema. Let me look it up. See that Sistema. Oh, I see. Oh, you know what? That should work. Maybe something like that. That should work perfectly fine. Even because that's essentially the same thing or similar concept as the Rubbermaid one that I have here. So should work. I would presume that it will work just as efficiently. And it's kind of it's not a bad looking, like that's this setup here, not bad looking. Look at that. All right. But be sure to add some cedar sheets in order to simulate the box environment. Yeah, definitely. Well, if you're making it, were you able to, since you said you are making the insert, were you able to find Spanish cedar, or what kind of wood are you using on the interior? Davidoff jar humidor and accessories, and maybe George's ideas to add a whiskey. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, okay. The booze will boost the bidding. Excellent. And Young Ma's currently at a nearby park with your Camacho Robusto and a glass of Jameson. What part of New Jersey are you? Or did you say you're New Jersey? I should know this because I sent you a package. I can't recall offhand, but it's New Jersey, right? Because I think it's Mom that's in Queens. Spanish cedar, of course. Okay, good. Jameson is a nice one. I have been using during St. Patrick's Day, I've been using this whiskey called Teeling. I like Teeling, and what we've been doing with it is we've been taking the Teeling and infusing that into coffee, so it gets an effervescence of the Teeling, and without the alcohol. So the idea is that we're hot infusing the whiskey onto the coffee, and it's burning off the alcohol while absorbing some of the flavor. Oh, it's you that's in Queens. Oh, sorry. Not close enough. So Flushing, I've never been to Flushing, but if I remember correctly, that's when I was at NYU. Everyone talked about going to Flushing or somewhere out there in Queens, where there's like a lot of Filipino restaurants, a lot of Asian restaurants. Like there's a whole like Asia world in that part. And the cigar's gone out again. George Brightman, what do you think about that? Just because it's a smaller ring gauge and maybe it's a little bit moister now because it's getting closer to my mouth. Okay, gotcha. And how are you doing, Mom? Good to see you as always. I know you've been here the whole time. I know. It's Asia here. Yeah, I heard the Chinese food is great out there. I'm presuming the Korean food is great there too. But every time that I'm in New York, I usually stay in Manhattan. Like especially now, I have a friend of mine. I always crash at his place. He's got a place in Chelsea. And the idea of going to Flushing is like, oh, that's a far train ride. But I used to drive out that way. The World's Fair, yeah, with a big World's Fair. So like my aunt, before she passed away many years ago, she used to live in where did she live? She lived on Winchester Road in, oh no, what's the name of that? Right, she was really almost literally behind the Americana Mall. So you would take the LIX to exit 36. So you take exit 36, get off, go to the right, go down a few, turn left, turn another right, and then you're at her house. She was my place of refuge when I was 17. Like we would drive to New York, go to the clubs, Then 2, 3, 4 in the morning. She always left the key like on this table on the side by the sliding door under like this container. So we would go, and she was like, "Whenever you want to come," and I was like, "All right, we'll be there at 4 a.m." 5, 6 in the morning, we're there at her house, crashing out. She was super, super great about that. And Shea Stadium was in Flushing. Oh, the Mets and the Mets. So I'm presuming that you're not a Yankees fan, then, if you're from Flushing. Hmm. Is that where she moved to when she first left the White House? Okay, the farther you smoke up, how to tell if you don't puff, it goes out. It's getting a little bit more now that I'm trying to puff it more. It is getting a little bit harsher. Like the quality and enjoyment of smoke is diminishing a bit. It's City Field now, but always be shaved from. Oh yeah, very good, very good. The mixing bowls. Maybe I should make a drive out there one day, because nowadays I do drive to New York. I bring the pickup truck and I just leave it at one of the garages in Chelsea, like right by my friend's place, and then really I drive now only because like my main stop after I leave New York is to go to Edgewater, to the Mitsuya marketplace there, and just go to town. Like there's is it Daiso? It's like a Daiso, Denwa, whatever it's called. There's the Daiso, there's the little Tokyo shop, there's the Kinokuniya bookshop, and then there's the Mitsuya. And I just go to town and just go ballistic in there. That craziness. It is a big community. Okay, great. Two-step at the clubs? No, back then it was all about the goth lifestyle. Hillary lives in Chappaqua. Leave the truck at the path train. I probably should, but usually, I don't know. You're probably right. You're probably right. I used to do that when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I just kind of drive it all the way in. Of course, it costs so much more. $20 just to cross the tunnel. It's like, oh God. If you come to Flushing, got a place to stay. Oh, excellent. Okay, thank you very much. At the very least, maybe we'll make a journey out there just to go and have something to eat. All right, so it definitely gets a little bit hotter. So I'm going to put that down for a moment because it's getting a little bit hotter and just a little bit unpleasant in that respect. What am I looking for? All right. So, like I said in previous weeks, one of the big things about this Plasencia Almaforte was that we're going to have a giveaway of the Plasencia wooden humidor. So it's a wood humidor, Plasencia logo here on the bottom. Really nice with a pewter Plasencia in the center for your ash. Now, here's the thing. So this is really through the courtesy of Rahul. We were at the shop for the Plasencia event, and he pulled out this box that had this. And actually, this cigar came from this box. And it's actually a pretty old version of the Alma del Fuego. It's probably a couple years old. And this is how they used to package it. So he was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I said, well, hey, let me have it so I can give it away. I was originally planning to do it as one of the door prizes on the 100th, but I thought, you know what, this would be kind of nice. I do have the Alma del Fuego. Let me save this for this episode. So we're going to give this away. And yeah, so if you're ready. Oh, did I say humidor? Well, you know what I'm talking about. Ashtray, humidor. You were smoking past the Zeno stopping point. So did Zeno Davidoff always stop at this point? That's because Zeno Davidoff had thousands of cigars at his disposal. Yes, of course, of course. All right, well, maybe we'll get a group trip one day and come out that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the wheel like we did during the 100. The range is going to be 1 to 100. Whoever you either get the number correctly or come closest to it without going over. So it'll be 1 to 100. So if you guys are ready yet, we will open the submissions. I'm going to put start here. So here for submissions, the Plasencia Alma del Fuego ashtray, wood ashtray. I'm going to let that run for a few moments to give everyone the opportunity. I need to really slow down on this, Got to wait to give you guys all an opportunity to drop your bids. And again, between the start and the stop will be what we consider active numbers. All right, I'm going to say stop now. All right, there we go. We have to stop. Let's bring up our number. All right, here we go. Spinning. Ooh, 23 is our number. All right, let's see here from the stop. All right, let me see if I can pull this up here. Can I share this screen? Let me see. 23 is our number. $23. So we've got 26 too much, 28 too much, 21. Brian's got 21. You know, in our world of friends here, the one who wins the most of the giveaways is Brian. Ooh, 25 over. 29, 33, 56, 11, 51, 27, 68, 34, 2, 15, 9, 32, 19, 14, 19. Let me know if I've missed anything. Closest one so far is 21 from Brian. The cigar is getting hot again. I got to slow down. There's the 21 again. I'm sure you guys will let me know if I missed one. If any of you guys, if I missed anyone, if I actually missed between 21 to 20 to 23, let me know. Oh, Mom, I'm so sorry to see that. Gosh, 22. Oh, there it is. Brian is in at 21. Unfortunately, Mom, you were after the stop. See? I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry about that. Let me get rid of that. I know, but it was after It was after the stop. I'm very sorry. Yeah, you guys, you really, this is true. This is very true. What you're saying. Whoops. About this similar level of luck. Like you definitely were the big winner, Mom, during the 100th with the two. Just mail. I guess I could just mail it to Steve out there. Brian's going to be there for a while. Yeah, Brian, just text me the address out there and I'll send it to you. Or if you want to have it here, it's up to you. Either way. Although I'm saying this in front of your brother, he probably like, well, why did you let me have the ashtray? You got plenty of ashtrays. Next time, Mom, I'm sure you will be victorious in it. But thank you for tuning in and on all that. And thanks for participating and always watching. I really appreciate all of you taking the time on Thursdays to watch and participate. It's always a good thing. So the cigar, this last third has not been as good as the previous two thirds. Like the previous two have been really great. Amazon Prime has the game on. All right, better go watch. What's the game? Is it the Washington Nationals or yeah, it must be. It's Thursday. Oh, it could be the Washington. What are they called? Guardians? No, that's Cleveland's the Guardians. What's the name now for Washington for their football team? The biggest ashtray. Yeah, this definitely is very large. Right. I think I have another ashtray that's I think either this size or just a little bit larger. There's one that Drew Estate made that has the rim and the bottom are wood, and there's an insert, a big pewter insert. That's a pretty massive. Like it's so massive. Like where do you put the cigar? Like here, at least you can put the cigar, just kind of in these like channels, which is a little bit nice. No Chiefs, Chargers, not the Commanders. Not the Commanders? Was it? I thought it was the Commanders. No? All right, George, have a great one. Thanks for tuning in. Always good to see you. So this cigar, let's have a look at that. I'm going to go back to our greeting form here. I'm going to have to say it's just good. Like maybe I'll give it a little bit extra, like 7.5. The body has dropped a little bit. Oh, the body's been still kind of full. We'll go to 8 on that. The burn, the draw has been very good the entire time. The burn, because it has gone out a couple times, we'll have to give it kind of a medium there. I would say the burn would just be good plus. I'll say good plus for that. Consistency has been very good plus. Overall, I'm going to say it's very good. All right, let's add it up here. 7 plus 8 point. Whoops. $81.75. All right. Not as big as a stinky trough. Well, that's true. That's the big round one, right? The one that has the big bowl. Right? That one's a little bit crazy. Like the one they have at the Davidas cigar shop, that's a little bit crazy. Wow, now I'm burning my fingers. Okay, gotta put that down. All right, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's have a look at where that would fit in. I forgot to input all of this. Let me do that now. So this one was 8175. This one is the Plasencia Alma del Fuego Panatela. Today's the 15th. 111. $81.75 puts us at the 8th cigar of the year. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a good one. Will you ever do a top 5 owner? Yes, at the end of the year, we will look at these and give it our look over. But as you can see right now, the top cigar so far has been the RoMa Craft Wanderlust Petite Bellicosa we did last week at 87.5, followed up by the Illusion Piv Robusto at 85.5, which was the one that I really was surprised about. Like, the last cigar that I expected to have a high ranking would be one from a celebrity. And then that Monte Cristo Espada Signature Vivace, surprising cigar. La Riqueza, not too surprising. The HVC 500th Anniversary Tesoro rounds out our 5th highest one so far. And that one, that was an interesting one because we did the other HVC, the big one, the 6x60, a few weeks ago. I actually had to go back to look at that and find a place to put that in here. But that was pretty good. But I smoked another one a few days later, and it was really difficult, like a difficult cigar. So, I don't know. I will put them in my shopping cart. Like, oh yeah. So there it is. There's right now. Get the Wanderlust Petite Bellicoso. Unfortunately, that's going to be the hardest one to get because that's really a cigar that is really for the European market. So it's not typically available here in the United States. There probably are some retailers somewhere that has it. I would check with Cigar Hustler. Mike and Greg, his brother, they run a place down just outside of Orlando. I got to meet them and hang out with them at the Weasel Fest a couple weeks ago. Nice guys, and they've got quite a big operation. They're really big RoMa Craft people, so they might be the best bet for the Wanderlust here. Otherwise, you can order it from places in Europe. One of the places that I really like to order from or to get those cigars from is a place called Delay. Delay Tobacco. Delay Cigar. Sully has a place there. They do have, here, this is something that might be nice. This is their 12-count sampler. The Petite Bellicosa. This is the one that we have highest ranked at the moment. This is a good one. The limited edition Fiorella. I've smoked all of these cigars. I think the Fiorella is the outstanding one of the group. Like I said last week, the Petite Bellicosa, this was really great. I do wonder how much of that performance was because it probably came really fresh from the factory and didn't have that transit time to Europe and then for me to buy it and bring it back. But this would be a great way to go. 116 euros. So they do have, he does have a US site. Let's see where, I don't know if he has it on here. I have always sold out of the sampler. All right, well, there it is. But he does have a US version somewhere. But great cigar place. You know, I first went out there a couple years back because I was in Frankfurt and I thought, let me go check out this guy, Sully, because I see him posting a lot online, and so I drove out to Saarbrücken, where his shop is, which is kind of like not quite southwestern, but sort of southwestern Germany. So a little bit southeast of Luxembourg and northwest of what's that city in France where they had the terrorist attack a few years ago? I was actually there during the terrorist attack. That was a pretty strange experience. But it's right on the border with France. So from Saarbrücken, it's only like 45 minutes to an hour to Champagne. So it's really, if you ever get out there, it's a nice place to go and check out. All right. So yeah, that's good. That's good. Plus, he also makes his own cigars, his own delay line, and he had this Anniversario cigar that a couple years back, 17 years I think it was, and that was a fantastic smoke. Like he let me try one year when I was the first year that I went. I smoked one, and I thought it was fantastic. And then I went back the next year, and I was like, "Hey man, do you have any more of these? This is like one of the best cigars I'd smoked that year." I was like, I've been thinking about it, and it's like I'm actually sold out of them, but I do have an extra box that I could sell to you. I was like, all right, that's good. So yeah, that's good. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's see what else is coming up here. So in the coming weeks, the listing down below in the description, I need to update those. I'll try to update them by next week. Next week, we're going to have the Alec and Bradley Gatekeeper Gordo on September 22nd. Then the week after that is September 29th, and I'll be in Los Angeles for another convention. So I'm going to a YouTube convention called People of Video Monday through Wednesday, and then I come back home, and then Monday next week, the week after, I fly down to LA or out to LA for another conference, and I won't be coming back until Friday night. But that conference ends at 5 or 6 on Thursday that week. So I won't be able to do the show. So because there'll probably be a lot of stuff going on while I'm there. So I figure we'll take 1 week off on the 29th, and then we'll return again on October 6th. And right now I've got scheduled the Plasencia Reserva 1898 Robusto. Then on the 13th of October, the Warp Series Grand Reserva 1988 Robusto. So that's what's coming up. And I'll update that by next week so we can see exactly. So you can see exactly what's going to be up on that. All right. So I guess that's it for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. The Alma del Fuego was really quite a great cigar. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you spending another Thursday night here with me. We're back again next Thursday at 8 p.m. for another of our weekly hangs. And yeah, so thanks again, and see you next time.